TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, to an absolutely massive video today. This for me was so exciting to make. I hope that you guys enjoy it, because in today's video we are going to be talking about the possibility of Xavi Hernandez being in the Barcelona dugout as the Barcelona coach. That is unbelievable, but is he ready for it? Is he ready for the huge job that is Barcelona? We are going to be talking about it from every angle in today's video. Get yourself ready. Let's do this. Because, as we have discussed on the channel over the past day or so, and right throughout the Spanish media, it has been constant since our Super Cup defeat to Atletico Madrid that Barcelona are in talks with Xavi Hernandez to possibly take over from Ernesto Valverde, either immediately or come the summer of 2020. This coming summer, we could see Xavi in that hot seat. But like I say, is he ready? Now, in today's video, we are simply going to be talking about his characteristics, about his managerial qualities, whether or not he has what it takes to become a successful Barcelona coach. This is not really a video about whether or not he'll become the coach, because I believe that at some point Xavi will be the Barcelona coach, and when that time comes, we're going to be assessing what he can bring, and in particular, what he needs to do to be ready. But if we start here with Xavi Hernandez's coaching philosophy, what would he bring to Barcelona? What is his footballing outlook? And I think we all know Xavi is a coach as pure as they come. He is absolutely rooted to Barcelona's rich history, rich traditions in every single way. When he was appointed there as Al Sadd's first team coach, he said the following: "My philosophy as a coach reflects the style that was developed for many years under the influence of Johan Cruyff at La Masia. I love seeing teams take the initiative on the field with attacking football and returning to the essence of what we all love from our childhood days, possession-based football. My teams will play attacking football with the ball." And I think that, for me, that is everything summed up in what we'd like to see. Xavi there knows Barcelona. He loves the club. Like I say, he's experienced so much, as we're going to come on to. He knows what we want. He knows what we should be producing. And I believe, given the right circumstances, given the right foundations, he could be the man to bring all of that back and bring back the Barcelona that we love. But although Xavi says all the right things, we loved him as a player, we want to love him as a coach, but does that make it the right time now for Xavi to take over at Barcelona? And that's the big thing right now with the coach at Barca. It's a very, very unique position. Because look, you can talk about tactics, you can talk there about philosophy, you can talk about the way you want your team to play, and that's all good and well. But the one thing that you cannot teach is the ability there to walk into that Barcelona dressing room and handle that pressure. Handle that huge, huge pressure that comes with becoming the Barca coach. Because make no mistake about it, this is a huge, huge job for anyone, not just Xavi. Anybody coming into this club, they've got a massive job on their hands, because they've got to go into that dressing room there and be able to stand up to some big players, to some big, big characters, and lead that team. And it's not only there about being able to explain your ideas carefully, to be able to clearly communicate your footballing philosophy, but it's about enforcing that, going about your business and actually there telling players what to do, telling players, if need be, to change. And that's a huge, huge responsibility for anybody coming into Barcelona right now, and that's the big question. Does Xavi Hernandez have that experience to excel as the Barcelona coach? And for me, you have to break this down into two different situations. Because on one hand, even if you're the biggest fan of Xavi, that's me, you do have to admit that right now, Xavi's managerial experience is limited. It's very, very limited. At first team level, out in Qatar, he's been in charge there of the Al Sadd first team for less than 200 days in total, since he was appointed on a 2-year deal back in the summer. And so far during his time at Al Sadd, he's had mixed success. He's had quite a lot of wins. He's had a few losses along the way too, a few disappointments. And obviously, it is early days so far. But in terms of results alone, there's nothing there staggering to say that Xavi Hernandez should be brought in immediately because of what he's done with Al Sadd. But how much can we actually read into that anyway? Because for me, when you compare Xavi's coaching role with Al Sadd right now to his potential position there at coach of Barcelona, they're worlds apart. Quite literally, they are worlds apart. He'll have very different players, it'll be a very different environment, and very, very different circumstances. And to be honest, he'll be much more suited back where he grew up, in Barcelona, and he should actually be able to communicate his ideas much easily there to the Barcelona players. But look, In an ideal world, in a perfect scenario, you would want Xavi to actually come learn his trade at the youth levels in Barcelona. That's always been the way. That's always been the tried and trusted method there. Come through the youth ranks, learn the role, understand what being a manager is, and then you can make that step up to the first team. You think there about Luis Enrique, you think about Pep Guardiola. Great examples there of the process working perfectly. They both spent time there at youth level at Barcelona and at Barcelona B, and of course, their transition to the first team was very, very successful. And just think about this here, something that hasn't been mentioned as much, but I actually think they're coming in as an assistant coach for that initial period. That could prepare you enormously for such a big job that it is at Barcelona. Because you think there about Tito Vilanova, the time that he spent for many, many years under Pep Guardiola as that assistant. You then think about how seamlessly he slotted into that first team role when he was given that opportunity. And even there, you look across somebody like Zinedine Zidane, he spent time at Real Madrid Castilla, and also he spent a lot of time there working very closely and under Carlo Ancelotti that was hugely beneficial to him when he stepped up to the first team role at Real Madrid. And I just think here with Xavi, maybe that kind of assistant role, you think about somebody who's out of work right now, maybe somebody like Quique Setien doesn't even have a club. You could bring in somebody like that and Xavi could work under them for a period of time to learn all of the things you need to learn about Barcelona, but without that huge pressure on your shoulders. You're not the one who has to take the full responsibility. You can learn under somebody else and then step out of the shadow. That for me is a good option. So in terms of preparation, as of right now, if you launch Xavi into the Barcelona manager's position, he hasn't exactly gone through the perfect drawn-out process that we'd have liked him to have in an ideal scenario. But look, this isn't an ideal world. This is not an ideal scenario right now at Barcelona. Things are not all rosy. We can't just pick and choose our moments as to when we need to bring somebody in, because right now, we are in trouble. Under Ernesto Valverde, things have stagnated. Not just recently, but for some time now, Barcelona have been going badly in the wrong direction, and we are all desperate for some change, for some immediate change. We need something new. We need something fresh. We want our club back. And that brings me here onto the other hand, because whilst Xavi doesn't have managerial experience yet, you cannot deny he knows this club inside out. Xavi Hernandez is an expert on all things Barcelona. You could argue he knows this club better than any of the coaches and the examples that we've just mentioned. 767 appearances for Barcelona for the first team. That's the all-time appearance record in the history. He's made more appearances than any other player. He knows this place. And incredibly, he spent 60% of his life at Barcelona. 24 years in total he has spent here at the club, from his development there, coming through at La Masia. He joined at the age of just 11, to his departure there after winning his 4th Champions League title back in 2015. 24 years he's been at this club. He knows everything about it. He knows what this club needs. Along with that, he won 25 titles in total at Barcelona, along with winning every major international honour with the Spanish national team. We are looking here in Xavi Hernandez at one of the most decorated players of all time, and a player also, we can't forget here, has worked under some of the most influential coaches in Barcelona's history. He's learned from the best. He's seen so much in his time. You think about it there, he debuted under Louis van Gaal, he won the Champions League under Frank Rijkaard, and he achieved treble-winning seasons under Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique. He's been able there to work under those coaches, to take things from them, to understand the different influences they've had on his career, and now he can use all of that knowledge as a coach in his own right. And this right here for me is a player who's seen everything, who's done everything. He has unbelievable experience behind him as a player, but the million-dollar question, will that translate into his time as a coach? And well, don't take it just from me here. Pep Guardiola is on hand to help us. Back in October, Pep said the following about Xavi as a coach in his own right. He said Xavi was already a manager when he played. His eyes sparkled watching football. He will be a manager for sure. There are people who play and you would never say they'll become managers, but this is not the case with him. Xavi could be a manager wherever he likes, not just in Barcelona, but you have to give him time. Sooner or later, he will manage Barcelona. He's still young, he knows football, he watches it, he has passion, dedication, he's brave and bold, and he says things very clearly too. It would excite me to see him manage Barcelona on top of everything. He likes to manage, and he focuses on everything. And look, when Pep Guardiola speaks, you listen. When he says something, he means it. And when he says something, that is intelligence for us all. And he knows Xavi as well as anyone. And I think you can certainly see there what he's saying. Because yeah, good players don't always make good coaches. And we can't judge Xavi as a coach just from his time as a player. I'm not saying that because players often making that transition, it's not easy. But as a player, you always felt with Xavi like he was managing on the pitch, like he was going out there and he was orchestrating on the field what his coach wanted. He was almost the perfect player there to communicate from the coach on the sidelines to on the pitch exactly what his manager wanted him to see. And I think he's very similar in that aspect to Pep Guardiola himself. When Pep played, he was somebody there who was a thinker in midfield. He was a deep-lying player, somebody who could see all of the game. And I think you see that with Xavi. He's a thinker, he's a tactician, he's a problem solver, and above all else, he is a leader. He wore the captain's armband at this club. He was vice-captain for many, many years. He led this team on and off the pitch. And I do believe he can command that dressing room because he is a player who's extremely confident in himself, in his abilities to come in and make the impact that he can see so clearly. He has a clear philosophy, a clear plan about the way he'd want his team to play. And all that I want to do is see that take shape at Barcelona. Will it be now? We don't know. Is he ready? The jury's out on that. But all we know is Xavi Hernandez will become coach of FC Barcelona. And when that day comes, I can assure you we can put our faith in this man. He knows what he's doing. He knows this club. And he'll command his position, just like he always did on the field. Because for me, forever, El Maestro. So please leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What did he make there of Xavi Hernandez and his characteristics to possibly take over at Barcelona? What do you think he can bring? What do you think he can learn? Do you think that he's ready for this role? Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I really enjoyed making it, and I really do enjoy the thought of Xavi taking over at some stage. I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks as always. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.